Chris, a disappointing afternoon.
Hugely disappointing, and probably as you know, in this series of games that we've gone through, you know, it's been a real tough run, and probably as disappointed as I've been, because you know what I wanted us to do. I wanted to start better than what we did. You know what I do appreciate is that we're up against a very good team, a very well drilled team that have played a certain way and played that for the last few seasons. So, you know, they know their jobs. They started better than us. But that can happen, and you know, against one of the best teams. But you can't give these teams a leg up. And you know what I would look at the 3 goals that we conceded as all really poor goals. The balance of that one is even as regards to stats, the amount of good areas that we're in. And of course, if you're in them areas consistent enough, that you know they become good opportunities to get something. But that probably sums us up at the moment, you know. And I think it showed Brentford. This Brentford team, I think, showed us why they are where they are. Because you know, even in a performance that was probably not one of their better performances, they capitalised on the mistakes that we made. And were resolute enough defensively to stop us scoring. So that's probably the biggest disappointment for me today.
You talk about that slow start, Chris. I wonder if you can put your finger on why that would happen, because it was virtually through the team, wasn't it? It's not just the odd individual who's starting slowly. It was almost a team thing, a collective thing.
Yeah, yes, and I thought on the back of a Norwich performance, certainly a second half performance at Norwich, and then you know everything we said was about starting brighter. I mean, their formation and they're very good on the ball. You know, the 3 in midfield and the deeper one, they can dictate the game a little bit. And you know, you either play a little bit of a different system, but I played the system I did because of the feel that I had from the Norwich game. Change that, you know, probably after 20-25 minutes. I thought we were better after that, but I'm not so sure it's even about the change. You know, it's certainly one where you know we're chasing the game, perhaps just that little bit more. But you know, we need to start better, and probably that slower start hasn't been something that's been consistent over so many games, but certainly in the last couple of games it has.
And I know we've spoken about individual errors, haven't we? And you mentioned last week at Reading how disappointed you were at their second goal from the set piece. Same sort of thing today after quarter of an hour.
Same thing, and you know, I think this is the biggest disappointment for us and for the team. You know, in a game where we haven't started as well as what we would have liked to. They had better possession to us. I thought they were sharper than us. But at 0-0, we are still in the game. And at 0-0, you still have a chance. You get to half time, you get to a period of the game. And I thought, you know, we started to get the grips to the game probably after 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. So you stay in the game. But when you concede as poor goals as what you know we have, and they are individual errors. You know, this is not about a structure of the team or something that we need to do better. These are individual mistakes, and at the moment they are costing us, and they're costing us because at this moment we don't have the ability at the other end to capitalise on the good positions that we're getting into.
I know your squad at the moment is hampered by injury, but when you see these individual errors happening on a pretty regular basis, are you tempted to kind of try something completely different and look at different players, or do you not have time to kind of work on that in between games?
The balance is that you can chop and change and lose a little bit of any sort of continuity that you think you have, but it's about working with players and trying to get the best out of players. So that's always the tough balance in picking any team and whether you're sort of winning or losing games. But the consistent thing is that the two things that I continually speak to yous about, it's if we are not getting into good enough positions, that's and at the moment what the balance is what's the bigger concern, that we are conceding poor goals, or for the volume of times that we are getting into good positions, we are just not capitalising on it, and it's costing us.
What about the in inverted commas equalising goal that you thought you'd scored? Have you had a chance to see it again, Chris?
Yes, I've seen it again. It's but certainly nothing conclusive on the angle that we've got. I have to say, I think it was very harsh. I think that there would be numerous goals scored up and down the country that would be exactly the same, that wouldn't have been disallowed. But as regards the actual decision itself, it's one that's not so clear. Probably the one I was disappointed with was the sending off, because Anthony says that he got a touch from the lad's arm. I don't think it's. I think when you see something that's a blatant dive, then you know it. But it's with Anthony, it's almost a stumble, and for anybody who sees it, that's what you'll see. And I think that being the case, then I don't think you can book him on that.
And of course, you can't do anything about it. You can't appeal or anything because it was 2 bookings, so you'll lose him for Tuesday.
We'll lose him for Tuesday, and I think we lose Toby, I think, for Tuesday as well with his 5th booking. So, that's where we are. What we've got to do is we've got to, in whichever way we do it, in whichever way I set the team up, we have got to start getting results. And it's been a tough run for us, and probably in this tough run it's give us a clear indication on where we are up against these top teams. And I'll say it again, against these top teams, our level of performance, hasn't been too far away from theirs. It's just the quality that they've shown and the resilience that they've shown to not concede goals.
We've used the word a lot when I've asked you the question of whether or not you're frustrated with some of the things that you see on the pitch. Does anger come into it? Do you get angry? So I know you're a very level-headed manager. You've been around and seen it. Is there a place for anger with you?
No, of course there is, because and I think that's within the team as well. We want better as a team, and yes, there's frustration because and I almost don't like to say that we are not getting what we deserve, because ultimately it's about both ends, and it's about scoring goals and conceding goals. So our level of performance in overall, I think, has been good. Overall, okay, first half probably the first half an hour a day, and maybe the first half against these top teams. But it's the areas that are hurting us are certainly what the better teams have had, which is at both ends, the real quality at both ends. So do we get angry? Yes, we do. We do get angry because we want and expect more.